Um, all right. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Surviving Trauma with Beverly Smith. I am super excited to be back. I took a little break from blackusa.news from my show um, just because it's important to take a break, right? And that's really what I'm going to talk to you all about today. I am super excited. So, just want to welcome everyone to the show. My name is Beverly Smith. I am a native Washingtonian out of Southeast DC. Super excited about sharing what what we can do from a negative situation. Southeast DC, a lot of people here, Southeast DC, and the first thing they think about is, poverty and negative things that happens in Southeast DC. But as a native Washingtonian, and I am a Southeast representative, I just want to, represent my city well, and really, this show is going to be about resources. It's going to be about how we can be how we grow through things that happen, right? So we won't do a lot of testimonies on this show, just kind of giving you all a heads up of what to expect on the show. We will not be doing a lot of testimonies going into like just dealing with what people have been through. We all know that it's tragedy, it's a lot of horrible things that's happening right now, but we are going to focus on recovery. We're going to focus on different antidotes that we can do. I'm super excited about being able to share some of the things that has helped me overcome obstacles, and how it has helped me to let go of guilt and shame and blame, which is one of the biggest things that can rob us of our dreams and our goals, right? Of being successful with achieving our dreams and our goals. So I am sipping on some peppermint tea. I put squeezed a half a fresh lemon in, and it's really good. So I'll just put a little bit of honey, and I'll be sipping on my tea. Please forgive the noise in the background. It is the day to cut the grass. But yeah, I am super excited. Want to encourage you all to go to my YouTube channel, Beverly Smith. If you're watching from YouTube channel, go to my channel, Beverly Smith, and subscribe. Also to blackusa.news and subscribe. And want to give a shout out to my brother, Donnie Glover. Donnie Glover is really someone who, uh, when you think about um, networking, I think of Donnie. When I think about partnership, I think of Donnie Glover. When I think about, someone who really care about the community and those who most will turn away from my experience with blackusa.news, bemorenews.com, is always been how can we uplift our community? What can we do to spread love and encourage those to never give up? So that's what this show is about. And like I said, just want to give a major shout out to Donnie Glover for giving me this opportunity to be a part of the network. And I don't take it lightly. I am super honored. Um, whew, and just want you all to, with that, share with me a moment of breathing, just to kind of center ourselves and start the show. All right. Now that I done gave out a few thank yous and let you all know who I am. Um, and so, yeah, I'm super excited about what is happening in the seen and in the unseen. There's some things that's happening that we cannot see, and it's really it goes back to Hebrews 11:1, just having faith in those things that we cannot see, and calling those things that be not as though they were. So you know um, and just taking in. So doing 3 deep breaths with me. Just so we can really just kind of center ourselves and clear our space of anything that's weighing on us. So just relax your body and just take a deep breath in through your nose and out in your mouth. And we're going to do that 3 times. All right, guys. So and when I'm inhaling, I like to inhale. As I'm inhaling, I like to think about positive things that I want to see. So, like prosperity and good health, good energy. So, just breathing in all that good energy and releasing any negative things that may be in, like guilt or blame and things like that. So, all right. So, yes, guys. And then, just feeling relaxed and grateful is one of the ways that I like to start my day is, breathing and then just breathing in positive things and letting go anything that is not um, helping me feel better, right? Any negative thoughts. So the next thing that I like to do is just give thanks. I used to have a long prayer, all these extended things that I wanted, and kind of just trying to manipulate some things with my words. But now my prayer has been shortened to just thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys. We just gonna say thank you. And that is the prayer. Thank you. Right. So we just thankful. And just whatever that thank you is in you, just be grateful and say thank you. We are grateful to wake up. We are grateful for our eyes, our nose, the ability to speak. I'm so grateful for my ability to speak. And that is one of the other reasons why I felt like I had to come back, is because I have a voice. I have something to say. And so, it is really the time that we're living in to be able to speak out your truth, right? And blackusa.news is really a great platform to be able to do that. Not just because I am, brown. You see, my skin is brown, and I love my brown skin. Um, I know that was, but yeah, I want you all to know it's really important. Self love is key. And it's so important for us to love ourselves. So, again, welcome to Surviving Trauma with Beverly F. Smith. I am super excited to be before you all. I'm grateful. And then, I shared a little bit with you all that I am a native Washingtonian, and I'm also an author. I have a book entitled He Kept Me that I self published in 2011. My book is entitled He Kept Me. You can get my book on Amazon. It's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and everywhere books are sold. And this book is a true story about a young woman's struggle through the streets of Washington, D.C., growing up in the southeast section of the nation's capital with a large family in the 80s was very interesting, to say the least. As a child, Desire Moore, Mumu, had her life all planned out. After high school, she would graduate from college, become an elementary school teacher, get married to a loving husband, have 2 kids, and a cat named Fluffy. That was all before her family became a victim of their environment. Before finding her savior, she endured being homeless, teen pregnancy, and an abusive relationship, jail, being raped, drugs, the death of her loved ones, and the biggest fight of her life, breaking the generational curse that plagued her family. Although this story is based in Washington, D.C., this is the story of thousands of women all over the United States of America. Jesus saves. So I was just reading the back of my book. Y'all see this picture of me? Wait a minute. That's me. Not the best picture, but but yeah, I wrote this book. It's my testimony of overcoming obstacles, and how God kept me in the midst of it all, guys. And I'm gonna tell you, pain serves a purpose. Um, this young lady here is my mom, Mary G. Smith. And so I am always in the presence, even when I am alone, that I am not alone. I really feel my mom's presence, my sister's presence. So that's one of the things that also helped keep me going. Is once I wrote my book, it allowed me to um, really, it was really big for me to write it, because I didn't write my story to become an author. I wrote my story just because I couldn't let it go. I At the time at the time I was in college. I was attending Ashford University online, and I had a autobiography. I had a paper that was due, and I wrote the paper. It was like a 5-page paper that I wrote. And in writing the paper, I embellished a little bit. I was a single mom of 4 children, and I was in school to get my bachelor's degree in early childhood education administration. But I embellished the story. I lied. I told them I was married. I made some stuff in the story. And although I did get a passing grade once I turned the paper in, I couldn't sleep at night because of the story that I wrote. I knew it wasn't mine. So I would wake up in the middle of the night and start writing out my story. And that's how the book came. And God told me that it wasn't my story, it was his story that I had to share as it relates to all of the things that I endured. And you will have to get the book. I'm not going to go into detail. I did share with you I had been through, but I'm not going to go into detail what's in the book. It is available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And you can also go to my website. If you go to mommasafehaven.org, you can also get a copy of my book. He kept me. So I am also a filmmaker. I am really was bit by the bug in 2014 when I entered into a film contest and won. And so my film Still I Rise was filmed in 3 days. One night we did the night scenes, the morning we did the day scenes, and a few months later we took a day and did the poet scene. So I've been filming with youth, and we have a new script out. I'm super excited, called Intentions. So I'm super excited about that. Script will be out. We'll be filming for that this fall, and through the winter, so we can get ready for our film festivals for next year. So look out for that. We have some amazing talent here, right here in DC, Southeast DC. You have a lot of talent. So we are always looking for writers and producers, and those who are interested in being director of photography. And yeah, so Momma Safe Haven is a nonprofit organization that I founded in 2014. 2014, I founded a nonprofit organization, Momma Safe Haven, and our mission is to provide safe spaces for individuals to heal from trauma. We encourage self-love, higher education, and self-employment by offering a support bridge to those in need of resources to get to the next level in their lives. And we believe it takes a healthy village to raise a child. And we stand united with our organizations, individuals, and businesses who are doing the work of empowering our community, and that's what we are really big on, is empowering our community. And want to give a thank you to everyone who supports Momma Safe Haven, to all of our volunteers, staffs, and partners, and those prayer warriors. Because we are on the front line working with families and individuals who are healing from trauma, traumatic situations. Could be gun violence, sexual assault, mental illness, drug addiction, family disparities, and Also, we are really excited about our upcoming fifth annual fifth annual You Go Girl Female Transformational Conference. That will be a month long conference that I'm excited about. We're going to start Saturday, October the 1st, with our first workshop. It will be at 9 to 11. It's a 2-hour workshop. So we do 2 sessions every Saturday in the month of October. We will also be partnering with other individuals, businesses, and organizations to plug in their events that they're doing. We know that October is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I am a domestic violence survivor, and I am who very dedicated to being a voice for the voiceless when it comes down to abuse and needing family support. Definitely want to mention community family life services. We're definitely super excited because the executive director, Miss Ashley McSwain, will be our first guest in October. So that first Wednesday in October, we will have Miss Ashley McSwain on the show to talk about all of the resources and services that they provide to women who experience domestic violence or have been incarcerated. So they have a lot of support for women in reentry. And that's what we're focused on, guys. We are focused on surviving trauma. We're focusing on the family and the importance of reuniting the vision for family structure, right? We have to reimagine the vision for family structure. So, next week we will have our guest, Mr. Frank Malone from 100 Fathers, will be on. And we are super excited about the initiative that 100 Fathers are doing, along with Mama Safe Haven, and reuniting and reimagining what the family structure looks like in our community. So we are definitely really excited about those who are being that example in the community for what it looks like to maintain that family structure, which is not easy when we are dealing with so much, right? We just kind of still in this pandemic and want to um, keep in mind the mental um, stress or the mental, I would say, yeah, the mental it just could be heavy on the mental when we're dealing with everything that comes along with that shutdown. But knowing that we are more than a conqueror, we made it through. A lot of people did not make it through that pandemic. So knowing that we are here for a purpose and know that they are things that are happening that is bigger than us, and that for us not to um, be so caught up in um, fear, right? Because I think fear is one of the, um, fear and faith, those two things. When I think of fear, I think of faith. Like my faith just jumps right up when I think of fear. I want to believe that we live in a world where it is okay for you not to be afraid of something that looks scary. I want to believe that so bad, right? As I wear and honor, the women, right? We have Miss Rosa Parks, and we have my mentor, Miss Harriet Tubman, and we also have Angela Davis and Asada Shakur. And then this pendant that I'm wearing, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. This pendant that I'm wearing is Miss Nanny Hellenbarrow, who I have to admit that I just found out about over the summer. So it has really been one of my missions to make sure everyone know about um, women in Black history. So knowing about women in Black history, this book is very powerful because it gave me an opportunity to see myself and the stories of courage, faith, and resilience. So Trisha Williams Jackson's wrote this book. So we in this book is about Phyllis Whitley, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, just so many great women in history that has done some great things. And like I said, this book um is one of those books that helps remind me of what is possible. I know we're living in some crazy times right now, but when I read these stories of Anna Julia Carper or Murray McLeod Bethune, and think about what was going on during those times when they were around, and um, the resolve that they had, like what that gut that they had to move on. Fannie Lou Hamer, like just some powerful women who were able to do um just some powerful things just because they believed in themselves. So I rock my shirt and Nanny Helen Barrow on it. Just because it's so important for us to remember. Oh, and Mahalia Jackson, I had the honor of going to New Orleans for the Essence Festival. And during the Essence Festival, I was able to attend um a screening of the Mahalia Jackson story, and it was, oh my gosh, guys, it was really powerful in a way that um speaks to uh speaking life into a hopeless situation, right? Thinking about perspective, right? Thinking about, as a man think of, so is he. We hear all these different words. I know for me, I'm gonna speak for myself. I hear those words, I would hear those words, and it was just, oh, it sounds good. It's kind of, real rhythmatic, like it has this rhythmic flavor to it. And the truth will set you free, and life is what you make it, right? In watching that film, Mahalia Jackson story, it really opened my mind as it relates to what is possible, and dreaming big, thinking big, not putting ourselves in a box. They may they probably tried to put you in a box, but they did not realize that you had a box cutter, baby. You had a box cutter. So I want us to know the power that we have. And sometimes we have to go back in history. And sometimes you ain't got to go that far back into history. Sometimes we don't even need to go back into the history books. We can just go back in our own life and think about how we have overcame some things. And that right there can be the push and the power that we need to come up with that next step, and not looking at everything so big, but saying, what is the next step to take? So being able to attend that screening to see the Mahalia Jackson story, I saw myself in that film in so many different ways. So shout out to Lettucey and um, who else? Columbus Short, and so many awesome people were in that film and had an opportunity to um they had a question and answer after the film, so had an opportunity to ask questions and talk to them about it, and also meet Mahalia Jackson's family who was there as well. So we want to think about how these things that are happening in our life, knowing that they're not happening to us, they're happening for us, right? It's so important because we can get caught up in why me, right? Or not even just caught up in why me, but caught up in looking at what someone else is doing or their life. And it's like, why can I experience those happy things? Or why do all of these, maybe health or maybe family or love or finances? It's really important for us to go within ourselves and know that whatever vision and whatever we focus on, that is what's going to grow. So that is one of the things that I'm excited about with our female transformational conference that's coming up October the 1st, all the way through October the 29th. We have 5 weeks of workshops that we are doing, and they're broken down in series. It's broken down in age groups. So we have one for 9 to 11 on Saturday and another one from 7 to 9 on Saturday. So I'm super excited about all of the lives that are attached to this ministry. That's right. It is a ministry that we are doing as it relates to pulling together the necessary people to be able to take back what's ours, and that is our mental health. Right? That is not just our mental health, but overall health, and knowing that we have the ability to make these changes is what we are focusing on. What are we putting our attention on? Right? So, with that being said, we are excited about being able to be before you all every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here. Again, I'm Beverly Smith. We are surviving trauma. We're not just surviving trauma, guys. We are thriving through trauma, and we have some different antidotes and things that we're going to be doing to be able to support you all. You will be able to comment, and soon we'll have a call in for you to be able to call in to be a part of the show. We really would like for you to know that this is a people show, right? When it comes down to surviving something, it is in a way of knowing that before you get to that end, you already know that the victory is yours, right? It's like that psychic ability. It's like speaking things into an existence. So surviving trauma is just that. It's that tongue, the power of the tongue, and knowing that what you say out your mouth, it has some power. It has power. If we look back over our life, I know everyone can look back over your life and see how you done spoke out some things and it actually happened. And I know some of us don't want to admit it because we spoke some negative things and it happened. But I know we can admit that we have more power than the world or the powers that fake powers that be want us to believe that we have. And I'm doing all this and that. But I want you all to know that I'm trying to say this in a way to make sure that we all understand that, we are, and I'm gonna just say it plain and simple, because this is Beverly Smith show, okay, guys, that we are a spirit having a human experience. Okay, I said it. Okay. All right. You are more than that flesh. Okay. You can't see me. What you see is only 10% of who I am. 90%, really 99% of who I am, you can't see. You will never see. You can experience, right? You can experience me. And just like right now, this is an experience. We are experiencing these things. And it's so important as we are growing and learning more about life is that we do not get caught up. Do not get caught up letting your mind kind of just be tossed all kinds of ways of information being thrown at us, and understand that we are being guided by a higher force. And it's so important as we talk about our spirit, right? And that's what I'm speaking. And we got to go there because we're talking about surviving and thriving. And that was one of the things that Donnie had said to me. I don't know if you're watching, Donnie, but I know when I was saying, hey, the show is surviving trauma, you said thriving trauma. And I said, no, surviving. But I want you to know something, Donnie. It came to me last night that it is thriving trauma. Because that's what we're doing. Surviving is just barely getting it, right? over it, right? We are all over it because at the end of the day, we defeated the enemy, right? We defeated the enemy because we say that the enemy is defeated. It is what we say it is, right, guys? It's so important to know that you have just that much power. That's how much power that you have over your life. Is that whatever it is, whatever you say it is, that's what it is. How exciting is that, right? And so to know that you have that power, it is a little it's a little heavy, right? Because too much is given, much is required. Okay, so you are required to do some things once you realize that you have that power, right? And what you have to do is check your intentions. Your intentions is key in understanding who we are and how we're going to go from surviving trauma to thriving. Okay. So I was thinking, I said, I'm not going to change it because I really want to get a group. I know that there is a group of people that's connected to this word and what God has given us, and what is put on the inside of me to share with you all. So I am going to keep the title at Surviving Trauma because I want us all to move into that thriving stage together. I want us all, I want to make sure that we can bring people from not just, from a surviving state of just barely getting by. Yes, I was able to pay my rent, barely. And I was barely, no, we're going to go from surviving to thriving. And that is so possible when I think about all of the many talents that we have, all of the many gifts that God has blessed us with. It's such an amazing time with the internet and with everything going on. Um, so I am super excited about what God is doing in the lives of his people and for those who are really just believing in their goals. I mean, I remember Kwanzaa, every Kwanzaa, 6 days of Kwanzaa, always try to, well, 7 days of Kwanzaa, always try to host something in the community to bring awareness to the principles of Kwanzaa. And I will never forget God giving me a word on in December. This was December the 30th, 31st, or something like that, almost the last day of 2019. And I was given a word to share. And when I say was given a word, it was just something that I needed to say like now. The reason why I came back to the show because I feel like I have a lot to say. So at that time, I had a lot on my heart that I wanted to share, and I wasn't really sure how it was going to come out because I don't write anything down. I try to write like bullets of what the point is going to be about, but as it relates to how it's going to come out, I didn't write that out. So when I got in front of our community and started to speak on what I felt was in my heart to say, and this was December 2019, what was on my heart was that a distraction was going to come and that it was important for us not to be moved by the distraction. And I felt like a huge distraction was coming and that we couldn't be moved by the distraction, but we had to be clear and on our vision, and that you had to have a vision. And it's in the Bible for those who tote the Bible, believe in the Bible, or know the word. It says that without a vision the people will perish. And so that was one of the things that kind of resonated with me. And as I was speaking, it wasn't a thing, like I said, I didn't write anything down. It was just something that I really felt like I had to get it out. And so the other thing that was attached to not just a distraction was going to come, and for us to be not moved by the distraction. That was one of the main things I want you all to hear, is that when distractions come, don't be moved by the distraction. Okay. That's tip number one that I'm sharing with you all. That's the other thing that I'm going to be doing within the show, is that I'm going to always make sure I share at least 3 tips with you all. As it relates to the topics that we're talking about, right? So distractions, you do not want to be taken off your course when a distraction comes. And that can happen a lot in life. I can give you all an example. I am comfortable in a busy situation. That's kind of my comfort zone. When there's a lot going on, I'm pretty calm in that type of situation. I just don't like when people kind of get in my way. If I have three or four things that I'm doing, I can zero in on those things and get it done. But there's someone that will come up, they see that you are busy, and they'll come up and jump right in front of you with this something that is so important to them. And they're trying to get you to make it an important on your list of things to do. And the things that you're doing is like number 10 on their list, but they want you to take on their importance and put it up here over top of yours, right? Have you ever experienced that? That's called a distraction. It's a distraction because a lot of times when they put their issue where it's like red flag, they, oh my gosh, it's an emergency. I need you. I need you. I need you. What I have found, and this is not all the time, guys, but what I have found is that once you say, for instance, that it worked, they distracted you, you stopped doing what you were doing, and now you are over here looking at their emergency, and you realize that it's not even an emergency. No, no, they wanted you to believe that it was up here. As soon as they get your attention, it drops down to number 5 on their list. You know why? Because they done threw it to you. And they know that you can handle it because they see you handling 5 other things that's on your list, right? So I just wanted to stop right there and share distractions, because distractions can look like the pandemic. The distraction can look like somebody coming in trying to throw their stuff on you to distract you from doing what you're doing. But it's very important for us to stay focused, and it's really important for us to speak our truth. So if someone asks you to do something and you can't do it, but they're trying to make you feel like, oh, well, I did something for you and you can't. Well, guess what? I thank you, but no, I can't. That is avoiding distractions. One of the other things that came up in the release of me just kind of being free and letting go and speaking was for us to have a vision and for it to be clear and for us to write it down, right? So writing down your vision and making it clear is really important, right? So like we said, distractions going to come. Don't be distracted. Put on your seatbelt, strap it on tight, okay, guys, and keep the faith. Know that this too shall pass. Ask, what is this here to teach me? Right? Because we ask for certain things, and when stuff show up, it may not look like or wrapped in the package that we want it wrapped in. So it could be there to teach us something that we needed and we asked for before, right? Maybe you needed help with being more patient, and now you've been bombarded with stuff that's actually helping you with that patience, right? So it's important when stuff happens, strap on your seatbelt and say, what is this here to teach me? Right? It is there to teach you something. Or what can I learn? How can I become a better person? Or what role did I play? Especially if it's something negative and you find yourself sitting somewhere and you just want to blame everybody. And 9 times out of 10, it could have been someone else's fault. It could have been, not saying somebody else's fault, I'm not saying it like that. It could have been because of someone else's actions. Let me say that. And a lot of times for me, 100 times out of 100, 10 out of 10, I'm going to blame me. Because if someone's action did something, then I had to take on their thinking, right? There you go. I'm putting it right back on me again. So that is where the growth happens. And that's where you will see that you won't have to go through that lesson again, because you got it. It's like you're in the 3rd grade now, sis. You're not in the 2nd no more, right? You're not in the 2nd, you're in the 3rd, and now you're about to get skipped to the 5th. You ain't even got to go to the 4th grade. You go straight to the 5th grade because you not only got that lesson, but you saw ahead and you were able to do a bonus test. So when you look ahead and something come up and somebody can say, well, look, like I said, before they knew how to get you in a place of feeling guilty about not having your plan clear, right? When you have your plan written out and it's clear, it's hard for you to get distracted because you know what you're doing. But if you don't write that plan down, you're not clear about your plan, here come the distraction. Now you over here with somebody else's plan. And now once you look up, you like, hey, I done help build this up. And now you have animosity to someone because they didn't help you. Well, the real problem is you did not know what you wanted. You were not clear on your goals. You were not a secure. You got to really play so many parts in your life. Like you have to really be player one. I heard, and I got that from someone else on YouTube. I'm gonna get his name so I can I don't want to take people's stuff, but you got to be player one. You have to be the one that's in charge. Like cut the ropes from the puppeteer. Okay, guys. And that is that following people. Think for yourself. It is really important when you can get your plan written out. That comes from you really kind of removing people. Get you a piece of paper and a pen and just write. Okay, it's like, and you want to take off all limits. There is no limit to what we could do after a traumatic situation, right? So a lot of times there are things that's happening. We are replaying things that happen in our past that can hinder us from having a clear vision. So I'll speak on that because I have experienced these things. So if you experience trauma and you have this instant replay that is just constantly replaying these traumatic situations, and no matter what is going on, you can't get past the traumatic situation in your mind. On the outside, you don't put your clothes on, you and put on your jewelry, you got your hair done, your nails done, you all that, but on the inside, you are replaying these things that has happened in your life, and the way that I had to deal with it when my sister passed away. That was one of the first times that I felt like I was having out of body experiences. And I don't want to freak anyone out, but anyone who have experienced trauma, then you know what I mean. And when my sister passed away, I really wasn't in this realm anymore. I had so many thoughts of where are you? I was just looking for my sister. So I couldn't get past what was going on in the world because I was so stuck in my head. I had questions that, and what people were saying out here did not make sense to me. And it wasn't until I had a visit from my sister came to me in my dream and told me that she was always with me. And I literally snapped out of it. But one of the things that I had to do, and I don't know, I truly feel blessed that I had that experience because I see people walking around and in my mind, I know what they're going through because I experienced it. I experienced not being in this realm of understanding people talking and I can't hear nothing you're saying. I see your lips moving. But I can't hear nothing. I'm literally replaying something that happened, like a situation with me and my sister, because we were stuck like this. So I would replay stuff in my head and I wouldn't hear nothing you were saying. And I would, when you snap me out of it, you'd be like, did you hear what I said? I'm like, my sister Vanessa, I would be stuck in that. So one of the things that I had to do was I had, for me, like I said, my sister did come to me and that was something, like I said, I feel really blessed because everybody don't get that. But one of the things that I have learned to do is write it down, write that letter to myself, write that letter to my loved one, And if it's a hate letter, I know when my sister Cheryl passed, I was pissed. I was mad at her. I was really mad at her, but I had to write a letter of forgiveness that I forgive you because she died from a drug overdose, and I was trying to get her to stop. And the way she passed away. So those traumatic situations can block us from seeing clearly our future. So writing those letters, burning it sometimes, forgiving yourself, forgiving the other person, doing some meditation where what I had to do was I went back to heal my younger self. And I had to ask myself, do I have any regret of the things I had? 4 children, 4 different men, like a lot of things that I've been through. And I had to ask myself, do I regret it? Would I do it different? And I had to really be honest with myself. I wouldn't have done it different. Then, the fear of doing any one of those things different, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I love me some me, right? But what I had to do was go back and be there for 10-year-old Beverly, right, who was molested. I had to be there for 14-year-old Beverly, who was gang raped, right? I had to go back and give her and be what I needed at that time, right? So healing those childhood traumas, going back to when that traumatic, and that's hard, but going back to those traumatic situations in your mind, go back to those traumatic situations and love on yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive the person who did it. And it's not, it's power and accepting an apology that you will never get. Come on now, it's power in that. And you have to accept that apology that you will never get from someone who hurt you, not for them, but for you. You have to say, you know what? I forgive you and I release you. Right? You don't have to forget. Now, that forgive and forget is something, because you can forgive them, but you're not going to forget. And see, and that forget. So let me break it down. I forgive you for what you did, but I ain't going. When I say forget, it's not like I'm holding that grudge. So I forgive you, but I've learned not to put you back in that situation to do it again, right? So that's where it's like I'm not gonna forget. It's not a forget where I'm a whole every time I see you. This is what I'm gonna think about. No, my heart is light as a feather. We got to keep our heart light as a feather and our mind at peace, right? Do not allow the enemy to rob you from your peace of mind. And that's by thinking of those, reliving those negative thoughts. So sending love their way, knowing that it happened for a reason, it was purposeful. Look how much better, look what you know now that you didn't know before, right? Find the good. I'm talking about you. Sometimes you got to search hard, but you find the good in that trauma situation. Pain serves a purpose, right? Last but not least, like I said, distractions going to come. You're going to have to strap on your seatbelt and handle those distractions head on. Tell them like it is, right? Writing your vision down and making it plain. Very important. Very important. Clearing the junk out, getting those negative thoughts out of your mind. And the other thing, let me say this before we move on to the third thing. Negative thoughts, getting negative thoughts. One of the things for me, I wasted, not say wasted, but it's, I'm gonna say wasted. I wasted a lot of time trying to remove negative thoughts from my mind. What I have learned, and I saw this on a video and it helped me, so I'm gonna share it with you all. What I have learned to do, instead of trying to get negative thoughts out my mind, is what I do now is I observe the thoughts. Of a negative thought come up, I will observe the thought, but what I don't do is run with it. Prime example. Years ago, my daughter was away at college in Western Maryland, and then there were a lot of bridges and mountain hills and things like that, right? And no service. So I'm from the city, and being in the mountains with no service is like you could go through all kinds of like panic attacks and all kinds of stuff as you go through these things, right? But at that time, I was going through a time where like I said, my daughters was away at school, so I was kind of feeling like the empty nesting thing, where I was so used to having them around all the time and not having them. It was one of those times where I started being by myself a lot, so I had to like self-soothe. I had to like really work through situations where at first, because I had my children at such a young age, it was things that we could talk about, or emotional support. Right? I had a lot of fun with my children. Right? I always had great times with my children. So not having them it left a lot of time for me to kind of like not have music on, not think. It was not think, but just like had that solitude time. So I'm riding down the road. I dropped my daughter off at school. I'm coming back. I'm taking this 3-4 hour drive back home, and I'm on this bridge. It's kind of like a lengthy bridge. And the thought came to my mind to drive off the bridge. Okay, guys. And it was a strong urge to just turn your car off the bridge, girl. You don't raise the kids. It was just that type of thought. I don't know if you all get those thoughts of just something negative. Maybe you have children and you get a thought, something about to happen to your child. Well, what I do, and I have 4 children, I have 3 girls and a boy. And what I do is immediately when a negative thought comes to my mind, I say the complete opposite 10 times out loud. We can't play with the enemy, guys. It's really important for us not to play with the enemy. So if a negative thought comes and it's like, oh, you're about to die, I will live. I am going to live. I'm going to live out the days of my life, and say that and feel the feeling. Get a vision of you, the complete opposite of what that negative thought was trying to give you, right? And this is work. It's not easy, but I'm going to tell you, it's so important. It's mental health as it relates to what they want control over, and that is our mind, right? We're distracted by social media, all these work, all this stuff, right? And then our health is failing because of all of these distractions and stress. Okay. So that's what you do with those negative thoughts, so you can have a clear vision and writing it down to make it plain. Third and last, right? The last thing on the list that I am going to suggest for you to do, and that was what God had put on my heart to share with the people in 2019, is to link up with like-minded people, right? It's so important for you to partner with individuals, businesses, and organizations that are doing what you are doing. They are doing what you want to do, right? It's so important for us to link up with those individuals, because we can only take ourselves so far. We have to link up with others that can take you to the next level. And you definitely want to make sure that it's a reciprocated relationship. You do not want to get into a one-way relationship. When you're introducing yourself to people and you're partnering with people, it's really important to make sure that you have something that you're bringing to the table, and that you are offering something to support each other. So not no one-sided, because it's so important to understand that in partnership that it is a two-way thing. It's very important. Very important, guys. Okay. So partnering with individuals is the last tip that I'm going to share with you all today. I am excited to be back. Next week, we will have a guest. I'm not going to do a guest every show. Just because I have a lot to say. I have a lot of tips that I am going to be sharing with you all. And I am also looking to bring on other hosts. If you are someone that is interested in having your own show, if you are someone who wants to be a guest on the show, and our guests that I'm bringing on the show are people who have resources. So if you are someone, not someone typically not selling stuff, but if you have resources for the community, if you have any ideas as it relates to tips on housing. I'm also becoming a life insurance agent, so I'll be sharing information about the importance of having life insurance and what that can do for leaving a legacy for your family. Also, talking about the importance of healthy eating is really important to me. And I want to share that with you all to make sure that we are staying on top of our health, and knowing that there is so much power in what we eat, in what we are thinking. So with that being said, this book, The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, is a book that I am going to suggest for you all to read. This book has helped me out a lot. So what I do is I try to read like at least a chapter a day out of this book. Another book that I had recommended for one of my youth was and also my son, A Rebel for the Hell of It. This Tupac story, The Life of Tupac Shakur. Um, yeah, Tupac Shakur. And then want to give a shout out to Mama Afeni Shakur. Mama Afeni Shakur is definitely one of my ancestors that are here with me. She's not on this shirt, but she's in my heart. And I am excited and honored to be one of her, what can I call it? I'm one of her daughters. I'll say that. I am one of Mama Afeni Shakur's daughters, and I can say that proudly. I'm excited about that. All right, guys. Sorry for that interruption. I apologize for that interruption, guys, but we are about to close out the show with 1 minute left. Technology is supposed to be taking over, but look, guys, we have glitches in the system. Just wanted to share with you all that to believe in yourself, love yourself, and it's so important for us to start with self. It's a lot going on, and if we can take care of ourselves, then we have done really the job. And also for those who are doing the work, know that one candle can light 1,000. Okay, so know that patience is a virtue. It's so important for us to take our time. Rest is a revolution. Okay, make sure you get your rest. Go out in nature and love on yourself. Okay, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Who knows? I may have a guest next week. It may just be me. But the main thing is I will be sharing those tips, 3 tips on what you can do. And also just loving on yourself. It's so important for you to hug yourself, hug yourself, hug yourself, hug yourself, hug yourself. You have a great day. Blessings. Shout out to Donnie and Black USA News. Blessings.